Hello, in this video I was going to look at this SUPRA-C vintage lockbox. This is used for spare keys, whether it's for a realtor or for people doing maintenance on a house or for kids coming home from school, some case like that where you want to leave a key for the house locked up around the house. This is one my mom got for me from a thrift store, and when she got it, it didn't have a combination, so it was a challenge to open it up. And I don't really have experience picking combination dials. That's not something I've played with very much, not in a long time. So it's not a skill set I've developed. I did look on YouTube and I saw Potty314 has a video on how to decode these. He does say that it does not work all the time. Depending on the combination, it may or may not work. So about 50% of the time. I tried the instructions and I didn't get it to work personally, but that doesn't mean that this combination wasn't the one that it worked on. Just because I don't have a lot of experience with it, I very well could have messed that up. But what I did want to show you is sort of how it worked, how I did get it open, and what I did, which I think falls into semi-destructive, and some other things I think are just kind of interesting about it. So I'll go ahead and I'll open it up so you can see how that works. So you turn it counterclockwise 3 times to your first number. Stop. Now turn it clockwise and go past your first letter and stop on your second letter, and then go counterclockwise again and stop on your third letter the first time you hit it. Once you've done that, you can pull this down and open it up. On the inside, you can see it's got a little clip for holding your keys. The actual dials for the lock are all covered up pretty good right there. If we take a look at this part right here, you'll see a little piece that says lift. We can lift this up, and then we can open up the shackle. We can close the shackle without this being lifted, and we can close the shackle with everything being closed. I'll show you that here. And we can also change the combination here. So we've changed it so it's no longer at the correct combination. And this is something I think that's interesting. You'll notice that if I press down, I cannot fully retract the bolt. However, if you watch this, you'll see it lets me close it and lets me close this. So in theory, there should be a way to reverse both of those so that it's bypassable. I will tell you right now, I tried for quite a bit to try to bypass this, but I'll show you the issues and why I had trouble with it and why I ended up doing it the way I did, which is the way I got it open was with a vise. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I opened it with a vise, and then I'll take it apart and sort of show you why that works and why there might be other bypasses available. Okay, so here's the lock, all locked up. We'll spin it, and it is we'll just spin it somewhere there, and then you can see this is how I ended up opening it. So I put it in the clamp, the vise here. I just slowly started pressing down on that handle right there and tightening it up real slow until I could just pull this off. Just like that. Then I loosen it up. And then you can see, take this off, and in a second I'll go back upstairs and I'll disassemble it, and you can see what kind of damage there was. Okay, take it apart now. One of the things I want to point out before you take it apart though, see it's not at the right combination. I can't fully retract the bolt when I pull down on the knob here. However, notice if I push, I'm able to push it all the way down. So when I try to use the knob, it doesn't fully retract, but if you can push down on that bolt, push forward, and I'm sort of pushing down in that direction. When I do that, I can push that all the way down. Okay. Let me take this apart. We can take this back plate off. So if you're careful and don't move any of the discs right there, this is where you could decode the combination. The arrow points towards your last value, so in this case B. You can pull that off. Got a spacer. Then, not the arrow this time, but actually if you, see, I think you should be able to go all the way to the left or right. So yeah, once it catches that second disc, you just point that arrow straight up. You can see the next letter, T. That to fall out, another spacer. And then you can see that final one. If you're not sure, just spin it all the way around and then have the arrow go straight up. And then you can see that other letter, that last one, K. And that just lines up with those little notches right there. This last disc does not like to fall out very easily. One sec to there we go. Alright, sorry about that. You can see all of these look the same. Alright. If we take a look at the sides, you can see there's no real significant damage to them from, you can see that little groove in there from pressing down on it. Groove in there. I did it twice, once to get it to work and then once for the video, so you can see there's some deep grooves in there, but nothing like, no incredible damage to that plastic disc. You'd have to take it apart to see that, and if you were trying to hide it or cover your tracks, somebody could take other discs and replace these with ones that don't have that groove damage. So I think that would cover up the evidence of it, so to speak. So that's why I say kind of partially destructive. There is evidence, but you have to take it apart to see that evidence, and you could cover that up. This is the other thing I want to point out too, though, as far as why you can press down. It's kind of interesting. If you look here on the side, let me get a pointer. If you look right here, if I push inward like this part, this screw isn't tight on here. There's actually a spring right here, so there's some flexibility in this bolt. This bolt can actually wiggle, and because there's a spring right here, I believe that this is by design, and I don't think that's like accidental. That wiggle's not somebody doing a poor job assembling it. I believe the purpose of that wiggle is so that when you're closing it, this can pop out a little bit like that, and then slide all the way down for the lock to close like that. But when you pull on this side right here, it pulls this down. It sort of pinches it in place so that this bottom piece doesn't come up. And if you're pulling on this plate, like trying to pull this out like so, you're digging that in even more right here so that it won't go down all the way. Right here there's no discs in, so it can go down all the way, but you can see that this piece can't slide once it digs in there. It's got to get pushed out to go all the way down. So if you have a tool that is strong enough to go through the crack and then wrap around and pull this and push it down, you should be able to bypass it. Or if you can use enough force to get things to slam in just the right motion. I tried for a while. You can see I've got some bent tools and some broken tools, just all sorts of nasty bent shim material. And I was not able to get that to work. But if somebody else comes up with a way or knows a good way of doing it, that would be really cool to see. So, yeah. To reassemble it, you just do that in reverse, but I guess the key point is that you're going to line up those arrows or those little dots right there with your combination. And then you can just drop the discs back in there and put everything back together. If you want a little more detail on that, definitely go check out Potty314's video. I'll put it in the description in the comments so you can check that out. He does a good job of describing how it works, and also a non-destructive way to decode it. So check that out too. But yeah, that's all I got on this. Definitely a neat lock, cool lock to add to the collection, and maybe one day I can practice my my decoding skills on it some more. And yeah, and if these weren't plastic, if these were metal, I think that would be really nice too. I mean, you could make these metal and then screw this down, and I don't, you know, I think you'd have to decode it. I don't think that there would be any easy tricks like those to get around it. But yeah, this video is long enough. Thanks for watching.